What's good, y'all? It's that boy, Easy Millions, and I'm your host of That Boy ETV. You already know, man, we are back on Marvel Rivals, and we're here with another character breakdown. And as you can see in the background, we got that girl Storm, baby. So let's get right into this. And again, we're talking about Storm, who is a duelist, and she's actually a support DPS. She has a base health pool of 250 with a movement speed of 6 meters a second, man. Now, Storm is a duelist DPS hero. She can deal a ton of damage with her normal attacks that have really good long range and can also pass through enemies. Storm's normal attack can pass through several enemies at once, and you can deal a lot of AoE damage if you manage to line up good angles. In addition to her sheer damage from her normal attacks, Storm also works as a powerful support. Her weather control creates huge AoE circle that buffs the entire team and is divided into two modes. One mode increases the team's movement speed while the other increases their damage. Knowing when to toggle between these modes is what differentiates good Storm players from the rest. The weather control can be further buffed by Storm's Goddess boost. This ability enhances the effects of weather control, making it a truly powerful support skill to have in your arsenal. Lastly, Storm's ultimate is a simple damage-dealing ultimate that lets Storm transform into a hurricane and wreak havoc on the enemy team. She can move while in this hurricane form, helping you set up good angles for dealing as much damage as possible. And all in all, Storm's difficulty rating falls right in the middle and is a good champion if you're looking for a unique movement and descent damage, baby. Now, personally with me, I've been playing Storm, and when you first got a hold of her, it was kind of like what's going on, because once we get into a normal attack, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but it does take a little bit of while for you to kind of really get a hang of her and understand what you're doing and how to truly go ahead and take advantage of all her abilities. Now, the first thing we are going to talk about here is going to be her normal attack, and that's going to be called Windblade. And with this, you launch forward piercing wind blades. This is a projectile that fires in a straight trajectory. It does 50 damage per round. The damage fall off begins at 15 meters, decreasing to 50% at 30 meters. The fire rate is 2 rounds per second. You have an ammo count of 12. You have no critical hit on this, and it has an effect in which the wind blade pierces through enemies, man. Now, when you use this attack here, you will go ahead and shoot out these wind blades, and it takes around 6 standard blades to go ahead and kill when you're not in your thunder form boosting your damage. Now, when you do boost your damage, it will only take 5 of these, which is really cool as far as getting the additional damage from that right there. Now, the thing I really wanted to talk about with her is when you're playing her, when you play, you'll notice that you will go up in the air a lot. And with the projectile speed and with you moving and with enemies moving, it will become hard for you to actually hit these. So I would just say, just make sure that you're staying at a good distance. If you're having troubles with this, stay lower to the ground and closer to your enemies if you're just having troubles hitting from a distance. But if you're able to hit from up in the sky, I would suggest that you fly up there. This way you're raining down your normal attack from the sky. But with her normal attack, remember, it does have damage fall off. So you got to kind of take which one you want. Do you want to be up in the sky where you have less chance of being focused, but you have less damage? Or do you want to be down on the ground with your teammates where you don't get as much damage fall off, but you're not also taking advantage of her flight? But let's get into her first ability, and that's going to be called Weather Control. And with this, you switch the weather to empower allies. The tornado grants a movement boost, while thunder grants a damage boost. This is a spherical spell field, and the range is 15 meters in a spherical radius. Now, when you're in a tornado, the movement boost to yourself is 16%, and for your allies is 8%. For thunder, the damage boost to yourself is also 16%, and for your allies is 8%, man. So when you're looking on here, you will actually see a circle around her, and in the middle of your screen, you will see a design, and in the middle, you will either have the hurricane or you will switch over to the thunder. So whichever one you are in, you want to make sure that you are aware of it and what you're doing. Now, also on your screen, you will see numbers here, and on the left side in blue will show how many of your teammates are actually gaining your boost and how many enemies are within range of this. And I think the enemy within range will come into effect later on with her next ability, man. But going more into depth with this one, with this ability, at the end of the day, you kind of just need to be able to understand when to switch between the two. Now, with me, a good hint for you is when you're starting off any match, make sure you're in your tornado form so that you can help your team get to the point as fast as possible. Whenever you're respawning, whenever you're trying to travel, make sure you're waiting for your teammates if they're near you, get them inside your tornado, and both of you guys gain that movement speed. But as soon as the fight starts, you're probably going to want to switch right on over to that thunder and gain the damage boost and allow your team to put out as much damage as possible, baby. But like I said, this is also going into her next ability, and that's going to be called Goddess Boost. And with this, you channel the power of the weather to empower Storm. Tornado grants movement boost and inflicts slow on enemies, while Thunder grants a damage boost and summons Lightning to inflict damage, baby. This is also a spherical spell field. The range is 15 meters in a spherical radius. The duration is 18 seconds. The cooldown is 15 seconds. Now, when you do an enhanced tornado, you give yourself a 40% movement boost, while giving your allies a 20% movement boost, and you give the enemy a negative 15% slow rate, man. And then with the enhanced thunder, you give yourself a 30% boost in damage, your allies 12% boost in damage. The strike frequency is going to be 2 seconds per strike, and the damage is going to be 35, man. So when you pop this here, if you are in tornado, you will go ahead and pop this, and you will go ahead and see that you will inflict slow on any enemy within range, and you will get yourself also a movement boost. Now, if you are in the lightning one, when you do this and you pop it, you will inflict damage on all enemies, and any enemies within the circle will continue to be hit by lightning as long as they are within the circle, baby. So when you have the Goddess Boost here, you just want to constantly pop this as much as possible. This is her ability that you want out as often as possible, and you want to make sure that you keep as many people within that circle as possible. This is why you kind of want to be more up in the air. This is where you can kind of be more in the middle of the fight while not being in the fight. This way you can have as many people in that circle as possible. And again, you want to determine which mode you want to be in, whether that's tornado or thunder. Now, me personally, I would suggest you only primarily want the wind one when you're trying to move your team or respawning, but definitely do that lightning one when you're in a fight. This way they constantly get hit with the initial bolt of lightning that you shoot out and the constant bolts that continue to shoot out, man. Now, let's talk about her other ability, and that's going to be called Bolt Rush. And with this, you unleash a lightning bolt forward. This is a straight spell field. It's a cylindrical spell field with a radius of 1 meter and a height of 40 meters. It does 70 damage, and it has an 8-second cooldown, man. So with this ability here, when you pop it, you will go ahead and shoot out a lightning bolt. It's all right. Now, this move here, me personally think is very underwhelming, as again, if you're up in the air and you're trying to shoot this while others are shooting it, it does have a slow wind up before it. So you will actually have to really time this in order to kind of shoot it. So it really does kind of, in my opinion, it's not really that good. And honestly, it needs a buff. This move here, in my opinion, needs a buff. And we're actually going to talk about this buff because I feel like the way this move should work should actually be the way that her team up ability works. And her team up ability should be something completely different. but we're going to talk about that once we get to her team up ability. But overall, this lightning bolt here, you just want to throw it out when you get a chance. Just remember that since you have that charge up in the beginning, it might be a little harder to hit. So make sure you are definitely timing this, okay? Make sure you're definitely timing this and you're taking your time to aim it. But now, let's get into her final ability, which is her ult. And that's going to be called the Omega Hurricane, man. And with this, you transform into a hurricane to draw in nearby enemies and deal damage. This is a spherical spell field with a maximum selection duration of 5 seconds. The tornado duration is 5 seconds. The range is 8 meters in the spherical radius. The attack interval is 2 hits per second. The damage is 75. The bonus health that you get when you pop this is 350. The energy cost is 3100. And the effect on it is weather effects will be disabled during the ultimate, man. So right here, when you pop this ability, you will turn into an actual icon here. So you will be able to determine where you want to actually start it. And then you will come in, and as you can see, you just turn into a tornado in which you do damage. Now, be aware that if you take too long, it will go ahead and turn on its own. So make sure that you're not taking too long to turn it on, or it will pop on its own. Now, this ultimate here, in my opinion, is very good. Just wait for everyone to be grouped up. Most likely you're up in the air anyway, so you'll see when everyone's grouped up. Pop this, get everyone in the middle, hit that bad boy, get everyone in, and then fly right on back out, man. It's a really powerful ult. I think you can get a lot of kills with this if used in the right situation, especially on certain maps where you are funneled in. Like I think it is the Super Soldier one, that map where they have to come through in the middle, and right there, they always come down that one hallway. You can go ahead and pop that ult right there and pretty much hit everyone in there, man. Now, the last ability she has that we need to talk about is going to be the team up ability. And remember, this also has to go along with her Bolt Rush. But let's talk about the team up ability, and that's called Charged Gale. And with this, Thor infuses Thor Force into Storm and Captain America, granting them an electrifying enhancement. With an electrifying enhancement, Storm can unleash a lightning barrage with an electrifying enhancement, man. And with this, the maximum distance is going to be 60 meters. The maximum bonus distance is going to be 5 meters. The maximum number of bonuses is 3. Your lightning damage is 50. The cooldown is 20 seconds. And you have to have Thor in order for this to work. And your effect is each enemy can be struck by lightning once per cast, man. So with this right here, as you can see on the screen, when you actually pop this team ability, she will actually shoot out a bolt of lightning similar to her other ability, Bolt Rush, except with this one, it actually chains and hits enemies next to her. Next to them. Now, this is what I mean by this ability here should actually be what the Bolt Rush is. Now, the Bolt Rush does 70 damage compared to this move doing 50. So what I think should happen is they should replace Bolt Rush with this team up ability here. You can still call it Bolt Rush, but change it to this thing. Make it 60 damage. That's in between what it is. So it'll be 60 damage, but it chains to the enemies. That's how I think this move should be her Bolt Rush move. And for her team up ability, since Storm can control the weather, for some reason it's crazy she has no rain abilities or water abilities since she can control the weather. So again, take this team up ability, make it her Bolt Rush, and then boost the damage to 60. And then for her team ability, make it with Luna Snow, and then allow Storm to be infused with Luna Snow's ice powers. And since she controls water, allow her to shoot out some type of thing to go ahead and get a stun or a freeze or a slow on somebody with ice powers. You know, that'd be that you could swap that for the team ability. I think that would be a lot better for her. And I think that would make the Bolt Rush a lot better, because I think the way the Bolt Rush is now is it's not really that great. Like I said, with the wind up and then how everyone moves, it's kind of hard to hit sometimes, and it's just underwhelming. So I really think they should switch the team ability to Bolt Rush and then give her that new one. But this overall has been that last breakdown video for y'all for Storm. But let me know, do y'all agree with the changes that I talked about for her moves? Or do you think I'm crazy and going cuckoo, man? But this has been another breakdown video for y'all, and I hope y'all enjoyed that, man. But as always, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, become a supporter, and catch me streaming on Facebook Gaming and Twitch at DatBoyETV. Now, catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.